Hello.
I went to plenty of windows and it was all flash, flash, flash. All these like Apple lights everywhere.
I know. I was getting like hypnotized.
It's not fair. I haven't learned how to really use the FX stuff on here yet. On the new Roadcaster.
He hasn't even tried yet.
I'm afraid of this thing. It's like so simple that it's complicated.
He's completely afraid of it.
Like, okay, so we're late tonight because this thing decided to have a firmware update, and then all of a sudden
It was a fucked up one.
I couldn't even hear anything besides out of there's four headphone jacks on here, and I couldn't hear anything out of all of them but one. And then okay, I was like, okay, we get because we were going back and forth. I was like, I can hear you, you can't hear me, but I can hear, but or whatever it was, and then I was like, all right, out of my way. I shut everything down. I had to go in factory reset the thing and everything, and finally got it all together.
Well, that's because that was that bad firmware, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm glad it was because I was freaking out because we spent some money on this. So,
hello, Chad. How are you?
Hello. Okay. So
hello.
So I guess we should start this. Hello, everybody. I'm Hex's Daemon. This is Akia Daemon, and that is Mother de la Mort. And we are. Well, I was about to say we are.
Hello.
You can't sit with us.
I already have a
well,
list.
I know one group of people we're going to be talking about tonight that absolutely cannot sit with us.
Absolutely.
I would be too terrified.
I don't know. I'd probably do it. You get some good drugs out of it.
I was going to say they'd put something in your drink.
They probably would.
Just to see how you'd react in social
one
situations.
of you is terrified and one of you isn't.
I'm not terrified of hanging out with the CIA. They were already checking me out. So, okay, look, I've been listening to the last podcast left. Their series on
the list.
That hurt.
The crap. I forgot what I was going to say.
CIA. See. MK Ultra's done wiped your mind.
It wiped his brain.
It was on crap.
Spotify?
The creation of the atomic bomb. What was it?
Oppenheimer?
The Manhattan Project.
The Manhattan.
And everything they're bringing up. Like,
I was about to say the Philadelphia experiment. I mean, which one are we talking about here?
Everything they're bringing up. I literally have to go and look up. So I'm looking up heavy water. What does heavy water do to a person's body? And I'm like, okay, they're watching me now. I know they're watching me. I was like, I'm looking everything up on nukes and all this other stuff here. I was like, I know.
There is a movie on Oppenheimer coming out. Do they really think that people aren't going to be looking this shit up?
I looked it up a few times in a row, and then went back and looked up a few times more in a row, and then looked it up again a few times more in a row.
It's cool. They're watching me too because I look up shit on serial killers regularly.
I think they're more.
Well, I imagine we're in good company.
He's progressed from serial killers to mass shootings. To mass to this.
Oh, and then there's me looking for videos of Columbine.
And then now they're like, he's now looking up at the effects of heavy water on the human body. We might need to send him a letter and have a talk with him.
You know, if we get a letter, I would actually frame it.
It would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool.
Frame it.
I'm sorry. We got a letter, like, just come in and look at everything, please, so we can get this over with, because I don't have anything to hide here.
Exactly.
This is what I do. We do podcasting, man. Come on.
Why is there a plate on my feet?
I don't know.
Okay.
So
what are we talking about tonight, guys?
We are talking about Ted Kaczynski Part 2. What do they call it? The MK Ultra Combo Special.
Whoa.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about the connection between the CIA and the Unabomber.
Yes.
And if we weren't being watched right before that, we are.
We are now. And this, guys, this isn't like a conspiracy. I mean, if you read or look up anything about Ted Kaczynski, this would have taken place during his time at Harvard.
It actually, it did.
And there's a lot of information out there about it. So.
Actually,
one of the first experiments they did with LSD was on the college campus levels with the CIA giving out LSD, them doing their trials and all this other stuff. That's I was about to say Dennis Leary, but Timothy Leary.
Timothy Leary, yeah.
Oh, dude.
Well, and during this time, I mean, this was really before like the traditional proverbial CIA. And this actually was codenamed MK Ultra.
Yeah, exactly. It was Operation Paperclip first, and then it was
Midnight Climax.
Yep, that's a good story right there.
Yep,
that one's fun,
guys. Just to let you know, real fast too, we are going to get to your comments at certain intervals. Yeah.
I might as well bring.
We do things a little bit different on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be the last comment for a while, and then we will probably get to them in shortly. But Chad said that the Columbine massacre was on the day after his 15th or 16th birthday, and his being the 19th, and so when that was the 20th, which is also the same day in 95 as the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember Columbine, not to go off on that, but the whole my school half the students did not show up. Parents took them out, or they took it as a day where they could just do what they wanted. But it was actually, I hate to say it this way, but it was actually really nice on my campus that day. I was able to walk around, not have anybody bothering me.
Well, except for the whole trench coat thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, isn't this when? Because I remember it wasn't this when the schools really started pushing for like the clear backpacks and all this kind of stuff.
Well, kind of.
Not
they
in
started pushing for backpack checks.
Yeah,
we had my oldest had to do clear backpacks.
Yeah, they never pushed for that at my school. The only thing we got was we were the last campus in Bakersfield to still allow people to go off campus. Then they brought it back way after I graduated. They also we were the last campus to have an open campus where there was no chain link fence around there either. Where they finally did do it in the early 2000s and stuff, where they finally put the chain link fence up around it. It looks like a prison now, where before it actually looked like a school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So real fast before we get on here, I do have one thing I was going to bring up before we get into the Ted Kaczynski. His name is so hard to say.
Kaczynski.
The Unabomber.
The Unabomber. So
the huge the tree huger bomber.
The tree huger bomber. Hey, look, it's the tree huger bomber.
Hi, Nadine.
So, you guys, real fast, do you guys like horror stories? Do you like banned books? Do you like macabre poetry? Do you like comics in all forms? Do you like unboxings? Do you like telling fortunes?
Do you like Talladega Nights? That's what I heard.
Do you like fortune telling? Are you waiting with great anxiety for the return of Delphine? If the answer is yes, then come on down to Pickwitch's own little shop of wonder, located at 1409 Hobbs Inn Road in beautiful downtown Pickwitch, Ohio. Guys, if you want any more information on that, you can head to the Pickwitch Community Board Facebook page, like it, follow it, and get a whole bunch of updates, because the little shop of wonder is going to have a lot of cool things coming to it. A lot of cool things.
Because they can't wait to get a taste of you.
Yes, it's not fair. Do you see what we change here? Like the exchange is the simplicity of the Mayono caster. You can just do it right then and there and be done. Man, I have to learn this.
Fucking learning. God damn it.
I did not know.
The only thing this thing doesn't do is write novels and stuff like that and stories. I think it's up to 4 stories now, or 4 novels or something.
And it likes to intimidate its users.
Yes, it very much does.
But it claims physical. What was it?
Yeah, it's very
physical threats against it.
The Rodecaster. I'll tell you this right now. The Rodecaster Pro 2 is very sensitive and touchy. It actually is, because these knobs right here. If I go up in it a little bit right now, like you can hear how much louder my voice gets, right, and everything like that. So I only very barely little touched it right there. Very, very sensitive. It's very sensitive.
Very sensitive. Very good. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go through all the comments right now because people are filing in and being awesome.
Yeah.
But also Chad. We're back with Chad here. He said he hates numbers after that birthday in 95. Understandably so. And then 2001 happened, senior year for him.
Oh, yeah, I was out of high school.
That was my sophomore year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, see, when you get to 149 years old, you just start making up numbers.
Yes.
We literally make up numbers. Yes.
If I get possessed by a demon,
I had to eat somebody. What the fuck?
Bones and all.
I used them for toothpicks.
Oh, okay.
Just, gotta get in there.
all right. We should.
People
get
can
into
be
this.
kind of stringy.
Stringy.
That's when you go for the soft
The
meats
kind that
first.
hikes, especially the hikers. They're a little sinewy.
Sinewy.
Guys, I'm joking. Satire. I should just say this out loud because people are totally going to take that as like I
Look,
totally ate people. I have not eaten people.
I've said
See,
it
I
enough.
would just say a little gamey.
If
Well,
someone wants to offer up a pound of flesh to
they
me,
kind of taste like pork.
it's not my fault if I partake. Okay. They said eat of my body. So
Well, see, now I have heard that some parts taste like pork, some parts taste like chicken. So there's got to be a part somewhere in between that would taste like pork chicken.
So there is I was watching that Joe Bob's last drive-in thing.
I like him.
And he started going through the history of zombies when the word zombie was first mentioned, what their incarnations have been. And it turns out that the playwright who first wrote about zombies being the way that we understand them, the coming back from the dead and hungering for flesh and that kind of thing, actually had an inkling for wanting to taste human. So he went to somebody somewhere in Europe, I believe, who said that they would feed him human. And he gets there, he eats it, and it turned out to be like goat or something. And so he finally got a hold of some human meat. And
is this hostile? Are you
no. Convinced somebody to cook it for him.
He couldn't cook it himself?
Nope. Convinced a chef, like a top chef, and told him it was like pork or something.
Look, more than
Right.
likely this was Eastern Bloc Europe, and he didn't have to convince someone. They just did it.
Well, so he tried it and he said it was kind of a cross between the two. It was like a gamey chicken.
Chiporkin.
Chiporkin. And that he didn't particularly care for it even after all of that.
Human chicharrones. That's what I would do. I would pork rinds.
I'm telling you, the ones that go hiking are really sinewy.
Pork rinds.
Gamey.
Yep.
They're gamey.
Especially if they hadn't had a shower in a couple of days.
I don't trust
Yeah,
the
gamey.
they make Luigi boards.
Jesus Christ. Luigi boards.
Okay, hold on.
How are we going to wrangle us back in? How are we going to try to come back
in? There we go.
Okay, guys. Please understand that most of this is satire. We are fucking around. We are playing with you. This is adults only. So put the kids to bed. I don't give a fuck.
Maybe.
I'm gonna cuss.
Look. I might be playing around. I don't know. Maybe I have committed an act of cannibalism.
I plead the fifth.
All right, so we are talking about Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, and we've read I read some of his manifesto, and dear God, did it go in circles. Yeah. Which is hilarious because a lot of colleges now have like rules that are the antithesis of the shit that he said. I was learning that recently.
There is some irony in it. That's for sure. But I still get a giggle and just like can completely not take him seriously when he's talking about the Industrial Revolution being the slavery of us humans. I'm sorry. Again, he did not know world history or the serfs or Maoricism or anything like that.
I dare say he's
like plague doctors.
He's probably the most uniquely American of all time because he is literally doing that thing that a lot of that insufferable Americans do, where it's I'm completely against this, but at the same time I'm completely for it and doing it.
Well, and what we're going to talk about tonight kind of leads into that. I mean, he was diagnosed as a schizophrenic.
Oh yeah.
But his time in Harvard may have actually really exacerbated the issue.
Yeah.
Due to these tests that are documented. They're documented. He was taking part in these MK Ultra tests.
LSD, I think it was. Was it LSD with him?
Yes.
Well, there's some debate there on whether, Timothy Leary's work was actually involved in these particular tests.
Yeah, true. But from what I understand, CIA involvement was involving LSD.
Yeah, and if folks want to say MK Ultra is a conspiracy, just go to CIA.gov/reading room/document/06760-269, or just look up Project MK Ultra.
Yeah.
They've got it on their website.
You left out another document they had. It was a document 8675309.
Did you see that somebody
It was Jenny's document, part of the MK Ultra? It really was.
Did you see that somebody went over to, it was like a craft store, and they had changed all the numbers around?
Okay.
So it said that, and I was cracking up laughing.
That's hilarious.
Because they're like, when you see it, don't mention it.
Okay.
When you see it.
Is it just me, Odd Mother? Is it just me, or are Aki and myself actually talking like we're on NPR now? The way we're both talking. Have you noticed that?
You've got to talk like this.
Because I don't have to yell.
You've got to talk very soft, very calming.
I don't have to yell to be heard anymore.
We're so snooty with our roadcaster.
I want to be able to talk like the lady on The Fog. The original John Carpenter's The Fog.
Yes.
I forget what her character's name was.
Oh,
Bodega Bay.
I
smooth sounds of whatever.
I could do Betty White from Lake Placid.
Yeah, fuck you too. What did she say?
You're all gonna die, you and your fuck meat friends.
Man, she was a national treasure.
I'm so sad. Why couldn't we keep her for like 17 more days?
I don't know.
So she could have made it exactly to 100.
All right.
It's because it's rad, Calvin. He says, I love that movie, The Fog.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into this. Where are we starting?
Where do you want to start? Why don't we start with the
Harvard experiments?
Yeah, let's go back a little bit to his college days. Let's start with that.
Okay, so I have a lot of information from a few places here. I have something from psychologytoday.com. I got a little something from some information from boingboing.com.
Boing,
boing. History.com. Let me go back. It's AHRP. And that one's Alliance for Human Research Protection. And it's talking about advanced voluntary informed consent to medical intervention. And it talks about him at Harvard as well. So I have several pieces here. I'm not sure where to start.
Well, pick one. Pick one now.
Why not just pick one.
You play now.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I don't even know. I really can't. Hold on. Here we go. The news that Ted Kaczynski was included in the 50th anniversary alumni directory as what to the class reunion? Roiled?
Where are you?
Has roiled the class reunion. Okay. So better known as his other name, the nom de plume, which would be the Unabomber. You know that. Kaczynski listed his occupation as a prisoner. His award who has been awarded 8 life sentences. And somehow his manifesto was printed.
Yeah.
And he is getting money from that, which is technological slavery, which was the name of it. Well, and somehow he made it onto the directory for the class reunion for his 50th reunion, by the way.
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal when they released that 50th anniversary because it was the my mind's gone blank. like alumni annual or whatever that they included him, correct?
Yeah. I mean, people are weirded out by the fact that they even printed his questionnaire.
Mm-hmm.
Because they sent everybody a questionnaire saying, like, you know, what are you now? What have you done with your life? What have you done with your degree? What have you done since graduating from Harvard? Blah, 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 blah. And he answered things like, I'm the Unabomber. I've written a manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
My occupation is a prisoner. And so, I guess they're saying that there's so many people that have been reporting on the fact that he was even invited to his Harvard reunion that nobody has seemed to really mention during that time when it was happening. That in 1959, he was recruited for a psychological experiment that would last 3 years, involving psychological torment and humiliation.
Mm-hmm. And remember, he entered Harvard at 16 years old. So he was still much younger than most of the other people or students, I would say, because he skipped both the 6th and the 11th grade. So I mean, just to keep that in mind, I mean, he's much younger, even though he's very smart on a mental level. He still is younger than most of the students that were at Harvard.
Oh, definitely.
It's very clear he was emotionally stunted.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, they're trying to say that was a joke. That had to be a joke that they sent an invitation to him.
Okay.
But obviously, they just sent it out. I mean, it seems kind of automatic, right?
So he was a part of it, or?
So, okay, no, talking about the 50th anniversary. But during, you know, while he was in college, he was part of that psychological experiment that aimed to deconstruct by humiliating undergraduates.
Yeah.
And therefore causing them to experience severe stress.
Then I do think he was a part of the LSD experiment too, because I think it was mixing this with that is what they're saying that turned him into the Unabomber.
Yeah. Well,
and that's where it goes into the fact that even though he may had precursors for schizophrenia, you know, you cannot like dismiss the fact that this would have caused it to be worse. This amount of stress could, and we're not talking about regular stress like what most of us deal with on a day-to-day basis, even at some extreme, you know, situations. This was ongoing. And it went on for 3 years.
What we know now with psychedelics and mixing it with schizophrenics and people like that, they know they split that up. But back then with the psychedelics and stuff like that, they didn't. This was them testing them out.
They didn't have any idea what this was going to do.
Not only did the CIA do this with MK Ultra, but it was also the side that they did with
prostitutes.
Not just that, the military side, where they actually did bring soldiers and was like, here, just come over here, and we're going to go to this room out in the middle of the woods and basically just take high doses of THC, doses that can literally send you into paranoia for like the next couple days, you know, because it's the whole it's the poison aspect of it was what they were pushing to extremes. They were the CIA was regularly dosing their own agents just to see what would happen. They would just walk by, they're eating a bowl of mashed potatoes or something like that, or something in there, and just squirt a whole bunch of LSD into it, and then just watch them.
Well, and I can't remember where I heard this, and so I can't confirm it. I just remember reading it when we were doing some other like MK Ultra type, you know, subject. But the one where they would put like the LSD and different stuff like that in employees' drinks and things like that, and one guy wound up walking off the roof or something of one of the office buildings.
What was that one?
I can't remember.
I remember that one. I remember us talking about that.
Didn't he live too, or something? Well, he died.
He
well, he either lived or died. There's no. You walk off a building.
No,
that's...
he He lived for a while. I don't think he survived it ultimately.
I don't know. I vaguely remember that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure there is a chance of something like that happening because, again, they're giving these drugs to them and then just watching them. So,
well, so these people don't even know what the hell is going on with them, and all of a sudden they're hallucinating. So, like,
no, exactly. That's another thing too. They just all of a sudden, I just had a sandwich. Why is the wall? Why are the walls melting? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean.
And it's also
and they would do it, in situations. It was all about like social situations. Even the one that Ted Kaczynski was involved with was about how people would react to social situations. Because my understanding is that they were, because these tests, they ran from, what was it, 1959 to 1962.
Yeah, specifically for this one that he was involved in.
Yes, and that's supposedly 1962 was the last year. They had I think there were 22 applicants for this particular experiment. They weren't really told everything that it amounted to. It was just basically a social experiment that they were going to be doing for the psychology department, if I'm not mistaken. And so what they did is they had each one of these 22 people or students write out an essay, kind of like, how they see the world and how they see themselves as far as how they relate to their world, different problems that they see with society, things that they like about society. And then what they would do is they would go in there and they would purposefully try to flip those by just absolutely berating these people and trying to see basically when they would snap, and basically if they could get them to start believing the opposite of what their beliefs were. I mean, just getting them all messed up in the head.
Well, it would actually make sense that a lot of the stuff he was talking about in his manifesto would be involved with this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it doesn't make any sense if you really think about it. If he was that smart, a lot of it is not well thought out.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the crazy part is once you read what happened to him, you're like, oh, I get it now. Like, I get why he said some of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, his anti-technology fixation and his critique itself had some roots in some Harvard curriculum.
Right.
It emphasized the supposed objectivity of science compared to the subjectivity of ethics. And then before he was arrested, he ended up demanding that his manifesto be published. Fucking ridiculous ass thing. But if you guys want to check it out, it is online. All you have to do is look for.
Yeah, you can find it for free.
It's Industrial Society and its future.
You don't need to buy it.
You don't need to buy it.
It's all over the internet. Well, and I thought, not to interrupt, but I thought the weird thing about that too is that when he did send this manifesto, and basically his thing was if you publish it, I'll stop killing people, and or sending bombs or whatever. And the first one to reach out, I believe, was Penthouse.
Oh,
they were willing. It was Penthouse. They were willing to publish the manifesto.
What was his name?
And every time I think of that, I think of Hustler and Larry Flint. But
it was Larry Flint. It was Larry Flint.
Was it Larry Flint? Was he Penthouse or Hustler? I thought he was Hustler.
He was Hustler, but I think it was actually Hustler. I do think that.
Okay. But so anyway, then Ted Kaczynski comes back and says, well, now I've got to blow up one person because, like, yeah, I know a lot of people read your magazine, but I was really like wanting the New York Post or somebody to do it. So now I got to blow up one person.
It's like
that's much bigger than the New York Post, man. You should have just went with this.
I know, right? You know how many men claim to only buy it for the reading, for the articles? Like, come on.
And prove that they don't actually read those things.
I buy it for both. I really do want to know how to hook up a stereo.
I mean, he would tell me exactly everything that would be in the article. So
Well, yeah,
true.
probably.
True.
She's all, babe, look at the boobs right here. I'm like, yeah, but look how interesting this Roadcaster Pro 2 is. And then here we are.
That's how we got the Roadcaster.
The knobs look like boobies. No, they actually kind of do.
No, they don't.
No, they do.
Not at all.
Let me have this.
People are gonna buy it and then be like, "What the fuck?
Why are there no titties on my Roadcaster?"
Why aren't there any titties on my Roadcaster?"
Okay, sorry.
So, Kaczynski believed that the Industrial Revolution was the font of American enslavement. So the system does not and cannot exist to satisfy human needs.
The system
Instead,
is down. The system is down. Sorry.
Instead, it is human behavior that has been modified to fit the needs of the system. The only way out is to destroy the fruits of industrialization, to promote the return of wild nature, and in spite of the potentially negative consequences of doing so, it didn't matter.
But okay, so and this right here, and then and then on the next page, he's like, "I'm fucking Captain America here, and I'm total support of Captain of America and all this other stuff." I think that's what bothers me more about him. I think that's what
he's Captain America and anti-industrialization.
Yes.
Well, and to me, I mean, it really does show that I think that these tests had a lot of effect on him, just because of what they were geared to do. They were geared to just really mess you up. I mean, mess you up to the point of, okay, look, so just to go back to this. So the types of like tests they were running on them, and I got this from the New York Post. Now it was, of course, at Harvard that he was subjected to these experiments. Now these experiments were ran by Harvard psychologist Henry A. Murray. It was backed by the Central Intelligence Agency, and though he graduated with mathematics degree and later a doctorate in the field before becoming a professor, questions remain over whether or not, or to what extent, he was affected by these experiments, which reportedly involved mock interrogations in which the participants' beliefs were horribly disparaged. Murray's study was widely reported to be part of a CIA program, like I said, codenamed Project MK Ultra, and it was inspired by the use of mind control techniques on U.S. prisoners of war in Korea by the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea. The program sought to understand how to control subjects' minds, sometimes using substances such as LSD, according to a document the CIA made publicly available in 2018, which is the one that you can find online. Yeah. Now, they're saying that there's not really any evidence that LSD or similar substances were used in the Harvard experiment. But the fact is, the project attempted to produce a perfect truth drug for use in interrogating suspected Soviet spies during the Cold War. And the document goes on to say, and generally to explore any other possibilities of mind control. So, I mean, these were tactics that were being tested and used on prisoners of war.
Yeah.
Not 16, 17, 18-year-old Harvard students.
Yeah.
Which still don't even really know who they are as a human being yet.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the fact that he was there at such a young age, too.
Well, and the fact that he already had a predisposition to schizophrenia. This had to play a major role on how he looked, his outlook on life. And probably, even though there was a push to that whole back to nature thing and homesteading back during the 60s, and we've kind of seen a rebirth of that now, with the whole homesteading thing, but that probably pushed him to just not want to be around people.
Yeah. Because they said he was a very, like, he did not get along with people at all. No one. He couldn't be around him. He was very aggressive. Not aggressive, but I think just couldn't tolerate people at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Kaczynski had actually ended up graduating with a PhD in mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
After Harvard. He did this at the University of Michigan. And he taught briefly at the University of California, Berkeley.
Yeah, that must have been a trip for him.
Right? And then my brain just stopped. Here we go. After Berkeley, he just kind of dropped out of society.
Yeah, that's when he started his world tour.
Tree Huger Bomber tour.
His Tree Huger Bomber tour. If you guys don't know, please go check out Your Pretty Faces Go Now. It is such a great series. And then specifically look up the Tree Huger Bomber.
Yep, not Hugger, Huger.
Look, a lot of my stuff I'm getting right now is from a last podcast because they did Ted Kaczynski a long time ago, and it's a great episode. And but the whole Tree Huger Bomber thing is just spot on with Henry Zabrowski and all this stuff. It's so good.
Great. It really is. So, after he dropped out of society for 18 years using homemade explosive device, he terrorized those he viewed as agents of anti-human technology.
He was trying to...
Wait. Especially anyone associated with universities or airlines.
How did airlines come into it?
I don't know.
Probably chemtrails. Please tell me. I bet you he started it.
See, I'm telling you, for such a smart person, he really has some really not smart ideas.
I hate the airlines. Get them out of my
Shake
sky.
my fist at the sky.
Where did he end up at? Was it Wyoming or where was it?
Here, California, I thought.
No, it was.
No, it was. I think it was Wyoming.
Yeah, it was Wyoming or Montana.
Okay.
But that's flyover country, man. You just move to where you can see all the airplanes going above.
It's all flat. I can see what's coming from miles.
Right.
I'm sorry. It was Montana.
Montana. Okay.
By the time he was arrested at his remote Montana cabin in '96, he had already left behind a trail of mayhem.
Did he? Was that one insurance?
Trees. What?
But okay. I've got to get off side topic. Doesn't that kind of sound kind of interesting and fun? A trail of mayhem. There are some days I really want to leave a trail of mayhem.
You know, the crazy thing is the way the term is, the way the word, like the definition of the word mayhem is kind of like changed. But when you actually look at the real definition of mayhem, you're like, oh, that's terrible. That's not what I think when I think mayhem now. No, I just think like imps and gremlins running around everywhere with toothbrushes or something like that.
I just think of that commercial.
Mayhem.
Yeah, that too.
Or he's like, I'm a family of raccoons that has decided to take residence in your attic.
Did you ever see the HBO series Oz? Like, I watched it from start to finish. It was such a good series, but there was a lot of. It was a prison, and it was he's in it, and there's just a lot of sex. That's a guy's prison too. You're like, oh wow.
Okay, mayhem.
But other than that, the series is good. So, yeah. What's going on there? She's moving the mouth going like this. I'm like, what's
it
up?
was supposed to be a little bit more clandestine than that, but But here's Hexus over here.
What?
Hey, yeah, what do you need? What?
Huh?
What are
Hey.
you doing? Why are you wiggling the cursor? What?
Like, I'm not a cat.
He's leaving a trail of mayhem.
He's leaving a trail of mayhem. God damn it.
Just left a trail of mayhem everywhere. You darn kids and you fly over.
Trying to drag that mayhem in the house.
He's got that name in his house. What's wrong with you? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Can you believe we're almost 45 minutes into this?
Yes.
I was like, I don't got anything after this, man. We gotta
I'm
on the go
spent.
now.
I've done spent everything I got.
Well, oh man. So the person who wrote this article that I've been getting a lot of my information on, I need to find his name because apparently his dad was close friends with the man who conducted the humiliation experiment.
Oh.
Henry A. Murray was the psychologist who conducted the humiliation experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And his fame has diminished since his death. Murray was among the most important scientists of his day, the pioneer of personality tests that are now a routine part of industrial management and psychological assessments.
Yes.
you want to hear what Wikipedia says on Murray?
Yeah.
This is interesting. Okay, so like you said, he was an American psychologist at Harvard University, where he ran those tests between 1959 and 1962. He conducted a series of psychologically damaging and purposefully abusive experiments, not only on the undergraduate students, but on minors as well.
Oh, so he was a monster.
Oh yeah, but according to whoever wrote this, he was brilliant and complex.
No, he wasn't. He was a monster.
He was a native New York blue blood. Who became a Boston Brahmin?
Yes, whatever that is.
Sure. He attended the finest schools, Groton and Harvard, earned an MD from Columbia, a doctorate in biochemistry from Cambridge.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped medicine and natural science for psychological after reading Carl Jung. It was his explorations in personality that he published in 1938. Before World War II, the U.S. government asked him to do a psychological profile of Hitler.
Oh, wow.
And
I'm sitting here reading that right now.
Yeah, he actually helped the Office of Strategic Services,
holy shit,
which later became the CIA, to assess its agents. And in the 50s, Murray's personality test, the thematic apperception test, or the TAT, was used to screen Harvard students. And then another odd twist that shows, history is fucking weird. While Kaczynski was undergoing those humiliation experiments, a young Harvard researcher named Timothy Leary was beginning his research career on psychedelics. In 1960, Leary returned from vacation in Mexico with a suitcase full of magic mushrooms.
Yay!
Murray himself is said to have supervised psychoactive drug experiments, including Leary's. According to Alston Chase, who actually was the author of Harvard and the Unabomber, Leary called Murray the wizard of personality assessment, who has OSS chief psychologist, had monitored military experiments on brainwashing and sodium amytal interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm still with Hexus on this. He's a fucking monster.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm just still laughing at the magic mushroom.
So the person who wrote this is actually Jonathan D. Moreno, PhD. I don't know who his dad was. I'm glad his dad had a good experience with Henry A. Murray, but a lot of people seem to not have.
Yay.
Well, I'm sitting here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just sitting here when we talk about these particular tests that Murray was running on the undergraduates. Now Murray himself, he divided, and this is what he called it. When someone had a person, like your personality, your theory of a personality, he referred to it as personology. So Murray divided personology into 5 different principles. Cerebral, I can't even talk today. Cerebral,
It's okay,
psychology. So I guess maybe the physical psychology of the cerebral cortex or something. I don't know. Which is rooted in the brain and governs all aspects of the personality. Number 2, people act to reduce psychology and psychological tensions to gain satisfaction, but do not strive to be tension-free, and rather cycle between seeking excitement, activity, and movement in their lives, and then relaxing. Number 3, an individual's personality continues to develop over time and is influenced by all of the events that occur over a person's lifetime. And number 4, a personality is not fixed and it can be changed and progress. And then number 5, each person has some unique characteristics while also maintaining others which are shared by everyone. So that really kind of explains, those were the target, to me, the target ideas that he seemed to be going about with these tests of humiliation and verbal abuse. And they would even do like the flashing. I mean, when you think of Clockwork Orange, think Clockwork Orange type tests with the flashing lights and the brainwashing and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it was intense. And I don't even think he knew, did he, those last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, that he was still in the test.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he knew he was.
Yeah.
Which would make it even more horrible.
Yeah.
And more cruel.
Oh, it's absolutely.
I just ran across a statement inside the CIA reading room about historians have asserted that creating a Manchurian candidate subject through mind control techniques was a goal of MK Ultra and related CIA projects.
And I've heard that several times.
Yeah.
That could just
about
be them making
brainwashing, mind control, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The thing that most they really discovered from this is that they can just break people. That's all it was. Because they really just broke a lot of people's psyche.
Well, it's now supposedly illegal. And I know that, and I didn't really get a chance to really read deep into it, but at the time that Murray was doing a lot of these tests, we were going by the standards of the Nuremberg trials, which I think, yes, there are some experiments and things like that you're not supposed to do, but I don't know if these type of psychological type tests were actually ever covered under the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, they're just laying it out. If you guys go to CIA.com or .gov rather, you can actually read all of this. This is a lot.
But it's just the way they have it
written.
Yeah,
it's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass. It's meant to be confusing.
And they've got a lot of stuff redacted on there. Here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is right here. And I got this from the History Channel online. It says experiments such as Murphy's almost certainly wouldn't be allowed today under current ethical standards for research. But at the time, it wasn't considered a violation of any code of research conduct. According to Barber, which I guess was someone being, asked about this, researchers at the time of Murray's experiments were governed by the Nuremberg Code of Research Ethics, established during the Nuremberg trials, of course, shortly after the end of World War II. We need to do something on the Nuremberg trials at some point.
Oh yeah, that's my idea for the next season. There's a couple things.
I think that would be interesting. which, though not legally binding, still serve as the basis for ethical standards in research today. After several infamous cases of human experiments gone awry, most notably Stanley Milgram's study, in which participants were coerced into believing that they had administered fatal electrocutions to others who had failed to follow their instructions. What was that test?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where you were allowed to shock people?
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. I
can't remember the name of the test, but it was, again, part of all that ABC government stuff.
Yep.
The American Psychological Association, the APA, in 1982 published detailed guidelines on how research should be conducted, called now the Ethical Principles in the Conduct of Research with Human Subjects. Today, all university research, including experiments on humans, must pass scrutiny of an institutional review board or ethics review panel, Barber explains. These committees pore over procedural details and may reserve an approval of ethical problems may reserve approval if ethical problems surface in the course of research. So that tells me they're still doing human experiments.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
At some of these institutions.
They
wow.
I imagine they are. It's consensual now, whereas before it wasn't.
Well, this was technically
consensual.
Yeah.
He knew he was doing an experiment.
I imagine that all the human experiment trials that they do now is like kind of like the, like Ghostbusters, like the first scene of the first movie where they're just being funny about it now.
Well, and you know what gets me on almost all this information that you look up? Like, all of them are so quick to say, we don't believe there's any direct correlation between this experiment and later violence.
What?
Right?
Another thing that didn't the Harvard records
is like
sat
there electrocuting me for a month.
And you don't understand why I now have nerve damage?
Yeah.
Didn't some of the Harvard the records on Kaczynski didn't they like burn up or something like that?
They were destroyed. Hold on, I've got that too. Hang on just a second. Where did I find that? Hang on. Sorry, that was my little one. Let's see. Hold on. I'll tell you here in just a second.
We should start doing creepy laughs.
Yeah, our power went out, so it's like, woo.
Oh, what happened?
Spoopy.
How are you still connected right now?
That's probably why it went.
Because everything's on charge. Everything's on charge.
Oh.
I'll have to find it. You guys go ahead and just talk. I'll find it. I had it right here in front of me just a moment ago.
Oh, well,
on the spotlight. Here we go.
Well, now that you're on the spot.
You found it?
No, I was just saying now that I've put you on the spot. Oh, I did find it. All right, so CIA Director Richard Helms, he did order the destruction of many of the files related to MK Ultra in 1973. So a lot of those files.
132 other additional projects to MK Ultra.
Oh yeah,
something like that. It was like some crazy number like that. It could be like 156. I don't freaking know. I'm just throwing numbers at a wall now.
Yep, but a lot of them were destroyed, not just redacted. They were destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because they don't want people finding out what they did.
Oh yeah.
They can handle conspiracy.
They can also make people look like conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what they learned. They learned from the whole JFK thing. The one thing they got out of the assassination of JFK was that if you bury everything in conspiracy theories and then you start making that someone who's conspiratorial, who start making that into a bad word and then you can project it on anybody who's going to ask questions. Even if they're valid questions, so then your voice is drowned out, and then you basically have the finger pointed at you, and you you can never. You're just no one takes you seriously anymore.
Yep.
Well, it's a psychological mind screw.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get a large majority of people to think a particular way, and normalize things that are not normal, you can get away with anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here you go. I have part of an explanation about that test.
Okay.
I think we went through some of it earlier, where they had them write, all 22 subjects write an essay detailing their dreams and aspirations. And then they were taken to a room with electrodes attached to them to monitor their vitals as they were subjected to extremely personal, stressful, and brutal critiques about the essays that they had written. Interesting. Following the psychological attacks, the participants were forced to watch the videos of themselves being verbally and psychologically assaulted multiple times.
Wow.
Kaczynski is claimed to have had the worst psychological reaction to being interrogated. These experiments, paired with his lack of social skills and memories of being bullied as a child, caused Kaczynski to suffer from horrible nightmares. That is what eventually drove him into isolation.
Yeah.
In Lincoln, Montana.
It's his actions were terrible, but the reason why he left was because he was abused, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like they created a monster is what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm putting my phone.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
But
well, and I imagine he's probably not the only one. I mean, he's just one of the better known ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that probably I would be interested to know where all these other participants are. But of course, their files are sealed from what I understand.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd be very curious to know what became of them.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I said, right. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around this guy that had written the article that I was reading in Psychology Today. Oh, my dad was a great friend of his. He was a great guy. He was very bright and complex, and he fucking tortured people. I'm sorry that he came up with a freaking psychological test. That's cool. That's great. You guys go ahead and use that. But he tortured people.
Yep.
Yeah, such a great fucking guy, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
I know it's nuts, but you got a lot of that. I mean, you've got certain pharmaceutical companies that came over during what, Operation Paperclip.
Yep.
Some of the reason they can fix your headaches.
DOS experiments.
Oh, DOS experiments. We need to make a t-shirt.
I feel like we're gonna get in a lot of trouble for that one.
Well, I guess
so let's go through some of the comments. Looks like we're getting some.
Hey, Nadine said, I knew a couple of ladies who claimed to be MK Ultra in real life. One was a politician's daughter.
That's
possible.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it either.
Although, are they aware?
Well,
would you be aware?
I'm curious. I mean,
what was the line you had to say from like American?
Gosh, that Italian family at the other booth is quiet. Just have her listen.
Or if you get a phone call that just says the banana.
The banana.
The banana.
It's screaming, banana hammock, banana hammock.
Oh, we need to see the Mario movie. I don't know why I'm thinking.
Why did banana hammock remind you of Mario?
Donkey Kong.
Okay.
I don't know.
What? Okay. That's even worse.
I've seen some stuff. I've seen some shit, man.
That's even worse.
I don't want to talk about
that. Was worse than Mario. Why is Donkey Kong wearing a banana hammock?
We went from Ted Kaczynski to banana hammock to Super Mario Brothers.
Well, we were talking about MK Ultra.
And suddenly we were MK Ultra.
Wait, what time is it? Okay, we haven't jumped forward. We're like, oh my god, it's
How
3
we been on
a.m.
for 4 hours?
How did I lose time?
We just
Where
walk
am I?
out.
Why are my feet muddy?
We just walk out in our areas and we just see there's this big path of blood and death everywhere. We're like, oh,
Mayhem, a trail of mayhem.
Trail of mayhem. Alan Craven, good evening. The Batman is in the house. How are we all doing, my brother and sisters? Hello.
Good.
Hello.
Doing all right.
The edible kicked in.
So, good.
We were halfway to the MK Ultra test when the edibles kicked in.
There's no turning back. No, not today.
No turning back. Can't stop here. It's Bat Company. Or
Can't stop here. This is Bat
Bat Country.
We have managed to offend every.
Can't stop here. This is MK Ultra Country.
The reptilians.
Oh God!
The reptilians. It was a reptile orgy.
The bloody reptile orgy that were murdering and sex with each other.
I found myself in the middle of a reptile orgy.
We do have to do that. We do have to. All of us have to get
Hunter
together.
S. Thompson.
Do a Hunter S. Thompson trip. I don't think we'll survive, but it would be fun.
We should just do one on. I mean, he's an interesting man.
Yes,
he really is.
I mean, could you imagine actually hanging out with what was it? It was Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp got locked. Or did he get locked down in the basement with him?
Well, it was all of them, and then they. I think it was Robert Downey Jr. too. Right before he got sober. I want to say it was. I could be wrong, but yeah, they were all partying together, and they're all best. They all became friends or something like that.
They got so fucked up, they got sober.
But he locked him down in the basement.
All right, this is what I heard, and I don't know. I could be talking out the side of my head, and it could just be rumor. But I heard that when Hunter S. Thompson found out that Johnny Depp was going to be doing Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he actually did lock him down in the basement or whatever with him. Like, I'm sure it was a completely downstairs area, and said, if you're going to play me in the movie, you're going to have to experience what it's like to be me.
Oh shit!
Oh, so
no, God.
You know, Johnny Depp at the time was probably doing some stuff, and he's probably, oh, this is nothing. And he just like, no.
This is nothing. I'm going to show you what it's like to be me.
You don't understand the amount that it takes to be me.
Exactly. And I think they wound up being down there like a month.
Oh,
you guys look that up. I mean, I'm just saying that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard.
Let's see. Hold on.
I mean, speaking of a good side of the drugs of the 60s and stuff like that is the whole Hunter S. Thompson thing, you know? Like,
well, you know, he had a big thing. Him and the Hells Angels went head to head. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, it was he lived such an awesome life, you know. Just
he did lead an interest. I can't even talk tonight. An interesting life.
How much
did you know that Johnny Depp spent $3 million to blast Hunter S. Thompson's ashes out of a cannon? On
that would be amazing.
$1 million 150-foot yacht. And yeah.
Wow.
Where did he like cannon him out of? Like where?
He was supposed to go into space or something like that, wasn't it?
Let's see. Let's find out right now. I'm on like the pop culture section, so.
And Johnny Depp, how cool would it be just to hang out with him?
Right.
I would have so much fun.
It would be amazing. See, that makes me want to go back and watch Fear and Loathing now.
Yeah.
Oh, so basically, somebody, his former business manager, countersued Johnny Depp, claiming that his lavish life had cost more than $2 million a month, which caused his recent financial troubles.
What is this?
This is talking about just him blasting Hunter S. Thompson's ashes out of a cannon, but his former business managers are countersuing Johnny Depp when he decided to, or were, I don't know if this how old this is, but it had something to do with him suing them, so they decided to countersue.
Okay.
Basically, they're saying that he grossly mismanaged his earnings, and part of that was them mentioning that he spent $3 million to blast Hunter S. Thompson's ashes out of a cannon. You know what?
Yeah,
he could do basically whatever the fuck he wants.
Exactly. Well, yeah, but if okay, I see what it is.
Wait a minute. Wait. So, financial managers, I mean, don't they kind of help manage the money?
Yeah,
it's not like they were an accountant.
So basically, he sued them for mismanagement, and they countersued, saying that his lavish lifestyle, yeah, basically caused him to be broke.
Yeah, I mean, they can only basically they can't exactly keep you from spending your money, but they can help you manage it and stuff like that. I mean, I think they can do some things to keep the money safe, but with like trust funds and stuff like that. But it's all on him.
Yeah.
So, is that it? Is that all we got tonight? Are we done?
Yeah, I guess we could be, because I was just looking at more information about his friendship with Johnny Depp.
Oh, it's fine.
So we're going to be talking about Hunter S. Thompson at some point.
Hunter S. Thompson. I there when we come back, we're going to take off the rest of the. Is it a month and a half? Is that what we're doing? We'll be back in the middle of August.
Well, actually, I think as far as the horror gallery, we won't be back till around the 1st of September, like we traditionally do. Now, that does not mean that we won't be doing like the random stuff and popping in to do little special things. But as far as but as far as like my regular show, it won't be coming back until September.
Okay.
After next week. Chit chat will take a month break, maybe.
Yeah, we'll be
I
off.
don't think I've had a break since I started.
So. You haven't? Not really?
No. I think what we'll be focusing on though during the break is it'll be like D&D, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Video games, hanging out. Nothing serious. And then
a few pop-ins from some old characters.
So
see, that's gonna be fun. And I do know that probably in the next 2 weeks, I have got to go up to Pickwitch for a little while. I'm probably going to take Piper with me, because I am not going up there by myself. Just to check in on things and probably hang out, because the last time we were there, we really didn't get a chance to really sightsee that much. It was total business, and so we were.
The Little Shop of Wonder.
yes. And I hear that is coming soon. So that's going to be exciting. But I do need to go up there and check out some things. They had some repairs and things like that they had to do. Plus, we can't let it sit empty. I mean, I know we're getting it at a steal, but we can't let it sit empty. So.
Can't. Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Exactly.
But we're going to tag team it, though, because next time you guys get to go up there.
Okay.
Yes. That is going.
I'm okay with that, because
that place scares me just a little bit.
I can imagine why.
Those campers going missing.
Fucking geese.
And I haven't heard anything else about that either.
Rabid.
So I don't know.
All right.
Are there like mimics up there?
There's
something?
mimics.
I'm just saying.
I don't know what is not up there. Is my question, and like, why have we never heard of this place up until recently? Of course, leave it to the bunnies of chaos to find them, but still,
I don't know.
We're poor. We're poor, so we kind of jumped at the opportunity for a creepy place.
True.
Right?
Usually I've paid more money for a creepy ass place like that.
So, and I do hear they still have quite a few of the postcards. So guys, if you want a free token, if you would like to correspond with the void, please go to pickwitchohio.com. fill out the form, and you will get a free correspondence from the Void while supplies last.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Go do it. Buy our.
Do it. And if you and if you were not aware, they are on Facebook now. I'm so proud of them. But it looks like they've kind of taken over that area of Facebook. Give them 48 hours and they're taking over already.
Right?
That's insane. Yeah.
They haven't been up long.
Nope.
And
Not
all of
at
a
all.
sudden there are 100 people.
5 days or something like that.
Yep.
Not even that.
If that.
Yep. It's just, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Bam.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
So
we will be back September then, I guess. September 1st,
Mhm.
the first week of September.
I was
You
gonna
can't
say
sit
not
with us.
September 1st.
September.
God.
We'll
And
be back
we're gonna hang out in the dark for the rest of the night, apparently.
We'll be
We're
back.
gonna watch more Godzilla.
Yeah, we're gonna go watch more.
Oh, that sounds
Godzilla.
fun.
We started watching.
We watched the Titanic again today, and again I cried.
Did you find the sub? Did you see it down there?
I did. That's all I could. Okay. Let me just say, it did make me feel better to watch that Ask a Mortician. And then it seriously, like, they were gone before their brain could even register they were gone.
Yeah.
But that's all I could think of in the beginning of that movie.
While they're over there going,
What were we saying in the back chat, in our back chat about you said something that was they're just ghosts now, and I was like, no, I was like, they don't even know they're ghosts. I was like, they still think they're on their way down to see the Titanic.
Yeah, they're like the John Travolta meme, where you just look around like, what the hell?
they're super happy still.
Insanely fast how that just happened. And
Did you hear that they may have actually found
7 milliseconds. 7
Yeah.
milliseconds it would take to kill you. Because it's
You don't
like
even realize
so
it's
many
on.
tons per square inch.
There's literally just an echo of you
yep.
forever
Yes.
in that
Yeah.
spot.
And I
Like-
imagine what they find are just going to be probably clothing and maybe.
They said they found something that might be human remains. Now the fact that they said might,
Well,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
it's
That's what I'm saying.
there's going to be chunks left over if it does get packed away in there, and if it was at a spot where it was slightly cooler, because when it compressed in on itself, it became hotter than the sun. So it might have.
But they still wouldn't have felt anything. They still.
Oh no, they
wouldn't
wouldn't have.
no,
It
was so fast.
I mean, if you got to go out that way, that's the best way to do it. Better than not suffocating on the bottom of the floor or the bottom of the ocean, or
On
buoying, floating in the sun,
Baking.
cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With-
I mean,
honestly, that
actually, if you think about it, that was probably quicker than just, everybody says, well, when I grow old, I want to pass away in my sleep. Seems like that
was
would
faster.
be even faster. Like you wouldn't even know it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So
So I guess when I grow old, I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to go on a.
you're going to say, hey guys, watch this. Boo. The line went dead. What happened?
Well,
and with
Hello.
that,
Hello.
every social media that we have ever been on, ever.
oh,
And
we're done. They're kicking us
Maybe literally and figuratively.
off. Yeah. So we'll be back first week of September.
hopefully.
Yes. Yes.
Have a good one, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.